Good evening and welcome to Express News with me, Deepika, your daily half-an-hour window that brings you 100 news and updates from the country and the world in just 30 minutes. Let's begin. Indian Parliament has been adjourned sine die after the upper house on Wednesday adopted motion of thanks to the President's address. India's Prime Minister spoke in the upper house of the Indian Parliament on Wednesday on the motion of thanks to the President's address. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi replied to the motion of thanks on President's address in the upper house of the country's parliament on Wednesday and took a jibe at Congress over Lok Sabha 2024 elections. Speaking in the upper house, India's Prime Minister expressed gratitude to the people for supporting the work done by BJP-led NDA government in past 10 years. Prime Minister Narendra Modi vowed that with the public's mandate in favour of NDA, India will ascend to the status of a global economic powerhouse, joining the ranks of world's top 3 economies. Indian Prime Minister also said that the next 5 years will be dedicated to ensuring universal access to basic amenities. Death toll in a stampede at a religious event in India has risen to 121 now. The incident took place at Hathras in the northern state of Uttar Pradesh. Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath visited Hathras on Wednesday. He held a meeting with the authorities concerned. Afterwards, he visited a government hospital there to inquire about the well-being of the injured. At least 28 people were injured in the incident. The Chief Minister has promised a thorough investigation into the case. A public interest litigation was filed in the Allahabad High Court seeking a Central Bureau of Investigations inquiry. Russia's President Vladimir Putin has sent a condolence message to India's President Draupadi Murmu and Prime Minister Narendra Modi over the deaths in a stampede at Hathras. Indian Navy Chief Admiral Dinesh K. Tripathi called on Bangladesh's Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina as a part of his ongoing visit to the neighbouring country. India's first solar mission, the Aditya L1 spacecraft, has completed its first halo orbit around the Sun-Earth L1 point. The mission was launched on the 2nd of September and was inserted into its targeted orbit on the 6th of January this year. The Rouse Avenue Court in Delhi has extended judicial custody of Bharat Rashtra Samiti party leader K. Kavita and former Delhi Deputy Chief Minister Manish Sisodia. The custody has extended till the 25th of July. In India, a 6th batch of pilgrims has left a base camp in Jammu on a pilgrimage to the Hindu shrine of Amarnath. A total of 5,725 pilgrims left for Baltal and Pahalgam in the early hours of Wednesday. India's Navy Chief Admiral Dinesh Kumar Tripathi held talks with security advisor to Bangladesh's Prime Minister Major General Tariq Ahmed Siddiqui at Dhaka on Wednesday. India's External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar met Belarus Foreign Minister Maxim Ryzhenkov today. External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar welcomed Belarus to the SCO as its newest member. Russia's Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov and India's External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar held talks on the sidelines of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization Heads of State Council meeting in Astana on Wednesday. Indian social media platform Ku, which was initially launched to give an alternate option to users speaking different Indian languages and in a way act as a rival to giant global platform X. In business, benchmark indices scaled fresh record highs on Wednesday. The BSE Sensex index walked past the 80,000 mark for the first time today, hitting an all-time high of 80,074. It ended at 79,987, up 0.69%. On the NSE, the Nifty 50 touched a new record high of 24,307.25 before closing at 24,287, up 0.6%. Indian rupee depreciated to 75.42 against the US dollar at day's low today, weighed down by the strengthening of the greenback in the overseas market and firm crude oil prices. Oil prices edged higher in Asian trade on Wednesday after industry data showed a bigger than expected draw in US crude stockpiles. Brent crude oil futures climbed 16 cents to $85.6 a barrel by US West Texas Intermediate crude futures that rose 14 cents to $82.95 per barrel. Shares around the world rose on Wednesday as comments from Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell reinforced expectations that US rate cuts were not far off. MSCI's World Share Index gained 0.2% to a new record high, with Europe's broad stock 600 index 0.4% higher in early trading. Asian shares rose, with Japan Nikkei up 1.4%, chasing its record high touched in March after Wall Street's main indices closed higher on Tuesday. US stock index futures edged higher in pre-holiday trading on Wednesday as investors geared up for an employment report among a slew of economic data. The S&P 500 rose 0.6% to 5,509.01, marking an all-time high. With a gain of 0.8% to 18,028.76, the tech-heavy Nasdaq Composite Index also set a new record high. The Dow Jones Industrial Average rose 0.4% to 39,331.85. Japan began circulating its first new banknotes in 20 years on Wednesday, featuring three-dimensional portraits of the founders of financial institutions and a women's university. Britain is in its final day of campaigning. Star candidates Keir Starmer and Rishi Sunak have kicked off their respective campaigns before polls open on the 4th of July. Former UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson made a surprise appearance in the British election campaigning on Tuesday, issuing a last-ditch bid to rally support for the Conservatives and their leader Rishi Sunak, the man who helped turf him out of the office. Meanwhile, former UK Home Secretary Suella Braverman has urged the Conservative Party to read the writing on the wall, and she said that now the elections are all about forming a strong enough opposition. In a latest from France, where people are all set to go to the polls on the 7th of July, over 200 centrist and left-wing candidates have pulled out of France's legislative election runoff by a Tuesday deadline, a move President Emmanuel Macron hopes will block the far right from winning power. German Chancellor Olaf Scholz has described the situation in France as depressing. His comments mark the first time a social democrat has expressed clear political preference with regard to France. A second round of the French parliamentary elections will be held on the 7th of July to choose all 577 members of the 17th National Assembly of the French Fifth Republic. The Chinese president said he is delighted to visit the beautiful country of Kazakhstan and to attend the Shanghai Cooperation Organization summit. She was given a lavish welcome as he arrived at the venue. Russian President Vladimir Putin is in Kazakhstan on Wednesday for regional security and defense talks, the Kremlin said, as well as a series of bilateral meetings, including with Chinese and Turkish leaders. Russian President Vladimir Putin and Mongolian President met in Astana, Kazakhstan on Wednesday on the sidelines of SCO summit. A judge has postponed Donald Trump's sentencing for covering up hush money payments until the 18th of September, the first fallout of a Supreme Court ruling on presidential immunity, pushing it to after the Republican convention. Democratic former U.S. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi said it was legitimate to raise concerns over President Joe Biden's fitness for office after his dismissal performance in a televised debate with Republican rival Donald Trump. Lloyd Doggett has become the first Democratic U.S. lawmaker to publicly call on Joe Biden to withdraw from the race for the White House president. He said, unlike Trump, President Biden's first commitment has always been to the country, not himself. He said he hopes that Biden will make the painful and difficult decision to withdraw. More than 55,000 people have fled Sinjar, the capital of Sinnar state in southeastern Sudan, as fighting rages between paramilitary forces and the regular army. As conflict continues in Kenya, Haiti's leader face a high-stake balancing act as Kenyan forces arrive in the violence-racked country where security is desperately needed. Kenyan police say they have arrested more than 270 people masquerading as protesters who are suspected of going on a criminal rampage during anti-government rallies on Tuesday. Now in Israel, 2 people were injured in a stabbing attack in an Israeli mall on Wednesday. Israeli police called it a suspected terror attack. In a latest, family relative of the attacker have been arrested. A Ukrainian military spy official said on Wednesday that a fire on a Russian warship in the Baltic Sea in April was caused by a joint operation conducted by his GUR agency and a pro-Kiev Russian military group. Google's climate-changing emissions have increased 48% in the past 5 years, at odds with a touted goal of becoming carbon neutral for the sake of the planet, according to an annual environmental report released on Tuesday. Time to take a short break on Express News. We'll be right back.
We just don't bring you the news as it unfolds. We get to the heart of the matter.
We don't just present facts, we demystify complex social, political and economic events.
We break stories that shape the world's present and future because you deserve the truth.
I am Tanvi Taneja from New Delhi.
I'm Ollie Barrett from London.
I'm Nick Harper from Washington, D.C.
Join us on DD India Global Monday to Friday at these times.
Welcome back after that short break. Let's continue with Express News. The India Meteorological Department on Wednesday issued an orange alert for extreme rainfall in northeastern states and sub-Himalayan West Bengal. Floods in the northeast Indian state of Assam have turned extremely critical as the Brahmaputra and many other rivers continue to flow above the danger level. 3 people were killed on Tuesday, while over 1.1 million people have been affected in 2,028 villages in 28 districts of Assam. Death toll rises to 38 this year. Heavy rains in the North Indian district of Moradabad in Uttar Pradesh have led to severe waterlogging, affecting life and stopping the movement of vehicles. This year's Atlantic season's first Hurricane Beryl packed maximum sustained winds of 241 kilometers per hour as it headed towards the Jamaican capital of Kingston on Tuesday. Hurricane Beryl barreled towards Jamaica as a Category 4 storm on Tuesday after battering smaller islands in the Eastern Caribbean. Supplies ran out, gas stations were packed with vehicles and residents were busy boarding up window as Jamaica's capital Kingston braced for Hurricane Beryl's arrival. The hurricane left a massive trail of destruction in Caribbean island of St. Vincent and the Grenadines on Tuesday. 90% of houses in Union Island have also been severely damaged. At least 3 people have died and 4 others are missing on Venezuela's Caribbean coast after Hurricane Beryl moved north across the Caribbean Sea on Tuesday. The National Weather Service's Hurricane Hunter planes flew through the heart of Hurricane Beryl to gather data to better understand the storm for improved forecasting. Summer storms hit Balkan countries on Tuesday, 2 weeks after the region saw heat waves that led to power outages in several countries. Flooding was reported in the Serbian capital of Belgrade after heavy rains hit the city as a result of storms on Tuesday. Residents in flood-hit cities across southern China were rescued on Wednesday after massive floods swept across the Hunan province while inundating cities in neighboring Hubei and Jiangxi provinces. Hunan's Pingqiang County experienced record flooding after the water level of the Milau River rose 23 feet above the alert level on Monday, which is the highest since the year 1954. The Thompson wildfire that started early Tuesday has rapidly spread across Northern California, consuming over 2,000 acres. The Thompson wildfire has forced thousands of residents from several towns to evacuate. Firefighters from across the state have been deployed to combat the fire. Parts of the Middle East and North Africa are witnessing a scorching heat wave as temperatures soared above 40 degrees Celsius in some countries across the region. Amid the heat wave, the region suffers from water scarcity, while in countries such as Egypt and Iraq, people are grappling with power cuts. The week-long 38th Hyderabad Sailing Week 2024 kicked off at the Hussain Sagar Lake in southern Indian state of Hyderabad on Wednesday. An 11-year-old girl named Aradhya from Rewari in the Indian state of Haryana marked a record after she climbed the world's third highest mountain, which is the Kanchenjunga. A sixth batch of at least 5,725 pilgrims left a base camp in northern India's Jammu on a pilgrimage to the Hindu shrine of Amarnath on Wednesday. A street play was organized to educate pilgrims about the importance of cleanliness during the Amarnath Yatra in northern India's Jammu and Kashmir. Two men from India's Rajasthan cycled almost 1,850 kilometers from Mumbai to Kullu in Himachal Pradesh to raise pollution awareness and promote health wellness. The San Giovanni Battista Hospital in Rome is the first in Italy to apply the therapeutic effect of hippotherapy in the treatment of patients suffering from brain-damaging conditions. Volunteers in a town near the Philippine capital of Manila are educating local residents about the importance of environmental protection by exchanging plastic trash for rice. Santiago's Buin Zoo introduced a baby white rhinoceros born in their premises to the visitors on Tuesday. This was the third white rhino born at the zoo. Canadian scientist Jessica Caix on the Niagara, Ottawa and St. Lawrence rivers and has developed a sensor to gather real-time data about the health of river systems. Crimean artist Piotr Dontsenko delves deep into the sea to perform underwater painting that helps him to capture a closeness to reality. 18 gold and 3 silver coins dating back to the 12th and 13th centuries have been transferred to the Museum of History and Local Lore in Turkmenistan's Arkadak. South African beekeeper Lulu Letleip, through her platform called Pungi Bees, educates people about the importance of bees and empowers women of a community to protect the insect. India's first solar mission, Aditya L1 spacecraft that was launched on the 2nd of September last year, has completed its first halo orbit around the Sun-Earth L1 point. South Korea's Hyundai Motor Group and LG Energy Solution on Wednesday inaugurated Indonesia's first battery cell production plant for electric vehicles. Indian film Kalki 2898 AD starring Prabhas, Deepika Padukone, Amitabh Bachchan and Kamal Haasan has garnered about $81 million at the box office worldwide on its 6th day. Korean pop group BTS's Jimin and Jungkook are set to star in a travel variety show called Are You Sure? The show will stream on Disney Plus in August this year. Tim Burton's Beetlejuice will open this year's Venice Film Festival. The horror classic will be screened out of competition on the 28th of August. UK rockers Coldplay have released a music video clip for their single called Feels Like I Am Falling in Love from their upcoming new album called Moon Music. A 9-series Demon Slayer will conclude with the film trilogy, which will showcase the final arc. No air date has been revealed. American comedian and singer Donald Glover shared a preview of his new film called Stone and the New World. No official release date has been set. American rapper Eminem released a new single named Cold Toby, featuring artists Big Sean and Babytron. His upcoming album titled The Death of Slim Shady will be out on the 12th of July. K-pop group BTS member Jin has been selected as a torchbearer for Paris Olympics, which will kick off this month. World Cup winning Indian captain is all set to, and the entire team is all set to land home in the early hours of Thursday morning from West Indies after clinching historic T20 Cricket World Cup trophy. A total of 9 Indian track and field athletes secured their spots for Paris Olympics via world rankings. Turkey secured a high-octane 2-1 victory over Austria to book their spot in Euro Last 8. Netherlands' Cody Gakpo scored his third goal of the European Championship, and Donald Malen added 2 more late on as the Dutch burst back into form with a lively display to defeat Romania by 3-0 in their last 16 fixture. Brazil played out an action-packed 1-1 draw with Colombia in California on Tuesday to qualify for the Copa America quarterfinals. Costa Rica beat Paraguay by 2-1 in their final Copa America Group D match, but failed to move into the quarterfinal round. Russian 6th seed Andrei Rublev crashed out of Wimbledon in the first round, losing by 6-4, 5-7, 6-2 and 7-6 to Francisco of Argentina. Defending champion Marketa Vondrousova was knocked out in the first round of Wimbledon, becoming the first female holder to fall at the opening hurdle since Steffi Graf 30 years ago. Former Wimbledon champion Novak Djokovic showed no sign of his knee problems as he began his quest for a record 25th Grand Slam title, impressively cruising past with Kopriva. And Brazil has decided to celebrate National King Pelé Day on 19th of November every year to mark the date when the soccer great is believed to have scored 1,000th goal of his career in 1969. And with this, it's a wrap here on Express News for now, but news and updates will continue here on DD India. So don't go anywhere. Keep watching and keep tracking DD India for all latest news and updates from the country and the world. Thank you so much for joining us. Namaskar.